Hi everyone, this is Justin here and welcome to my channel. It's a lovely day today, but I've been busy at work, so today I've decided to go for a very quick and easy meal. Okay, of course, coincidentally, I have some of this overnight rice. Okay, this was leftover rice, white rice, and I've decided to do classic杨州炒饭, Chinese fried rice. Okay, so for my version of the Yangzhou Chao Fan, it's very simple. What I'm using here, of course, is white rice. Okay, it's overnight and then kept in the fridge, which is recommended because overnight rice is drier, so it's easier to fry and gives you a better texture. Yeah, you prefer your fried rice to be drier. All right, and then I have here some char siu, which I've diced it up. Okay. Also leftover from some days, so I've decided to use it. And I have here with me some French beans. Okay, if you prefer to have long beans, no issues, or you prefer to have other vegetables like carrots, corn, and all that, no problem, or even peas if you like. Yeah, but we like to keep it simple, so just rice, okay, char siu, barbecue pork. It's slightly sweet and salty. What we have here is the French beans and eggs. Okay, 4 eggs here. So I've done 1 cup of rice. Okay, I have about 100 grams of French beans. This char siu would be also about 120 grams. I had more, so I just put it in. And of course, lastly, also I have some spring onions. I just have a little bit left over, so I'm just using it off. Okay, now we're gonna start frying. The first thing what I'm gonna do is to heat up the wok and put in about 3 tablespoons of oil. So yeah. So a lot of people ask, why is it named Yangzhou Chao Fan? Honestly, I have no idea. Okay, but that is what we call it here in Klang Valley, and it's simple for us to remember. Anywhere you go out, you just order Yangzhou Chao Fan. It's something like that. A lot of places these days, though, do not use the barbecue pork char siu. What they use now a lot is lap cheong. All right, the wax meat, and they cut it, they diced it up, and to fry. It is also nice and fragrant, but my wife and myself, we do not like to eat lap cheong, and we do not like the taste of it, so we prefer to have char siu. And I always have char siu because I sell char siu, right? If you did not know yet, during the weekends we barbecue char siu, barbecue pork. It's all charcoal roasted. All right. Yeah, so some of my friends and some people, customers as well, have requested that if I can share a version of simple char siu, yeah, that you can cook at home. And yes, I do have a recipe for that. Okay, so stay tuned, and if you're interested, let me know at the comments below so that I know that you're interested to cook this simple char siu, and I'll make an effort to do it as soon as I can. Okay. Now the wok is heated up. We'll just pour in 3 tablespoons of oil. Right, that when I give you measurements, I do not use any scale or measurement tools to measure itself. Of course, like the French beans and all that, I've measured in advance. But during cooking, I usually don't measure. My hand, my eyes are the skills, right? So the weighing skills. So that's how I measure, and honestly, it won't go really wrong. With just slightly more or slightly less, it doesn't matter. You know, I am really the very chintai, the agak-agak. You know, in Malaysia we call it the very simple cooking. You know, you just add in anything that you like, you think is going to work. You know, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and if it's not right after tasting, you know, you can add in more or find more ways to do it. Or if you find it too salty, probably add in more rice, or you know, just put in less the next time. So that's why everything that we put in, we slowly add in. All right, seasoning, we don't put in too much. Okay. So I'm just gonna heat up the oil a little bit now. And what we're going to do first is fry the eggs. So I've got 4 kampung, or we call it the village chicken eggs here. This is really quick meal, you know. If I don't have to do with this video, my prep time is about half an hour, including cooking and all that. But if it's not within 15 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes, I can cook up this rice already. Okay, so once the oil is hot, your wok is hot, you pour in your eggs. Okay. And just keep stirring them while they cook. Ultimately, what you want is scrambled eggs, right? So we're going to scramble the eggs. Why do we put eggs first? Because the fragrance of the eggs is very important for this Yang Zhao Chao Fan. So we're going to put this. The egg will absorb all the oil, but don't worry, yeah? Once you do not need to add more oil, otherwise your rice will be too oily. So we're just going to fry these eggs on high heat, alright? For a short while. Then I'm going to add in the French beans, okay? Because the French bean is raw, so we need to add it in to cook for a while. I'm on high heat at the moment. Now I'm using an iron wok to cook most of my dishes, alright, and well, this is the only wok, not the only wok, the only wok I have, but I do have a non-stick pan as well. But I prefer Chinese cooking in this wok because it gives it an aroma, you know, in Malaysia, what we call it, the Chinese call it wok hei, alright, fragrance. And the iron wok helps a lot because it heats up pretty well. Okay, here I'm just going to add in half a teaspoon of salt to give it a bit of aftertaste. So there are a lot of versions of Yang Zhao Chao Fan out there. Some people put prawns as well, which you can. I don't. My prawns are all frozen in the freezer, so I don't have them. I'm just going to make a very simple version today, a quick one. Okay. Now once you see the eggs popping, alright, and you can smell the fragrance of it, you know, what you can do is add in your char siu, the barbecue pork. Okay. Now, barbecue pork surprisingly goes very well with fried rice. Has a very good fragrance to it, and it's slightly sticky, slightly sweet, slightly salty. So you don't need much salt or any much seasoning, okay, because the char siu gives it a really good taste and fragrance. Okay, I can now smell the fragrance from the char siu grilled pork. Right, once you can smell it, then you're going to put in your rice. I have about 1 cup of basmati rice here. You can use white jasmine rice as well, as long as your rice is dry. Can you use like freshly cooked rice? Yeah, if it's your first time cooking fried rice, it could be a bit tricky because it might stick to your wok, right, with your pan. But if you're confident enough, yeah, no issues. I'll probably share with you again in another video how to do that. The frying time is slightly longer for, what do you call this, for freshly cooked rice, yeah? Okay. So you just need to press it in to break down the rice, okay? Break up the rice, and then you get very nice, nice looking rice here. Okay, now it's time to put in a little bit of seasoning, so I'm going to put in a bit of pepper. I'm going to put in a bit of salt, about 1 teaspoon, 1.5. Okay. Don't worry, if you prefer it saltier, put in more. Doesn't matter. But you can do a taste test later. Okay. What I'm gonna put in is a bit of my flounder fish powder. Flounder fish powder also gives it a very nice fragrance. Just a bit. If you don't have flounder fish powder, what you can substitute it with is this fish sauce. Yep. So the fire is on high heat. Now just keep on going, pressing, frying. Don't forget we still have the spring onion, but the spring onion is going in last, okay? And spring onion is actually very important to give it the lift of the fragrance at the end. So if you like your rice to be darker, you can add in a little bit of dark soy sauce, but I think I prefer it just slightly golden brown. So which is good enough because the color comes from the char siu, the barbecue pork. Okay, so you hear the sizzling sound of the wok, the rice. So I'm just going to fry it slightly longer to make it a little bit of a taste test. Just a bit of rice with the eggs. Fry slightly under, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little bit of chicken stock powder here. If you do not want to, you can add in a little bit of soy sauce as well, or more salt. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of sugar. Sugar will just lift all the taste as well. Okay, continue to give it a good fry for about, onion you need to fry for about probably 8 minutes. If you have a really big fire, you can do it much quicker. But at home, our stove fire is not so strong. The flame is not so strong, so what you do is just carry on and cook it slightly longer. Okay, it's looking pretty good now. Just gonna taste it again. Right, I think the taste is just nice. Now in Malaysia, the Chinese people, we like to eat it with fiery, hot, spicy chili padi. Chili padi is the small chili. So we like to add in a little bit of soy sauce in it and to eat it with the rice. That would be the best complement for it. Okay, so just make sure that your rice is all dry up. Not too dry of course, but you don't see it lumpy and all evenly coated with oil. Okay, lastly I'm going to put in the spring onions. You can put in about a handful of spring onions for this recipe. I do not have that much, so I'm just putting in whatever I have. If you love more spring onions, put in more. If you prefer less, you put in less. If you do not like spring onion, you can just leave it out, but I think spring onion actually lifts up the whole dish. Okay, now we're done. Okay, quick and simple. Yep, this is my easy, cheap, quick meal for the night, the day when I'm busy. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.